Canadian school boards sue social media companies for negative impacts on student well-being. A former AI board member reveals details about the firing of Sam Altman. Google's search secrets are accidentally leaked. And a study conducted by Zoho reveals that only 36% of Canadian businesses recognize AI is important for their business. These stories and more on this Truth and Consequences edition of #Trending. I'm your host, Jim Love. Let's get into it. In what amounts to a significant escalation of legal action against major social media platforms, 5 more Ontario school boards and 2 private schools have joined ongoing lawsuits alleging these companies' products have negatively impacted students' ability to learn and overall their well-being. The new plaintiffs bring the total amount being sought from the Canadian actions to over $7 billion Canadian from Meta, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, and ByteDance or TikTok. The suits allege that the platform's addictive designs have compromised learning, disrupted classrooms, and harmed students' mental health. Their news release stated, "The addictive properties of the products designed by social media giants have compromised all students' abilities to learn, disrupted classrooms, and created a student population that suffers from increasing mental health harms." The legal action underscores growing concerns over children's compulsive social media usage and its potential long-term impact. While the companies have defended their safety practices, the lawsuit aims to hold them accountable and drive meaningful change. For IT leaders and educators, this development signifies an urgent need to address technology's influence on youth and revisit policies governing digital device usage in learning environments. This high-stakes litigation also reflects a broader societal reckoning with the ethics and the responsibilities of big tech's persuasive design practices affecting vulnerable populations like students. Former OpenAI board member Helen Toner is revealing new details about last year's dramatic firing and rapid reinstatement of CEO Sam Altman. In an interview on the TED AI Show podcast, Toner claims the board decided to oust Altman without his knowledge as they believed he would undermine and pull out all the stops if he was made aware of their plans. Toner cites several reasons the board lost trust in Altman's leadership, including his alleged failure to disclose ownership of a fund, providing inaccurate safety information, and targeting her after a research paper angered him. According to Toner, Sam started lying to other board members in order to try and push me off the board. 2 executives also accused Altman of creating a toxic atmosphere with psychological abuse. And Toner notes a lack of board oversight, saying that they only learned about the ChatGPT launch in November 2022 on Twitter. However, OpenAI's board chair Brett Taylor states an independent review found no product, financial, or legal concerns, and over 95% of the employees wanted Altman reinstated as CEO. There have been few secrets as closely guarded as what goes into Google's search algorithm, at least until recently. A leak of over 2,500 pages of Google's internal documentation is offering a rare glimpse into how the search engine giant ranks websites. The documents, inadvertently published on GitHub by Google in March, detail the company's Content Warehouse API, which is used for search. While not containing the actual search algorithm code, the files reveal attributes and signals that appear to contradict some of Google's public statements on its ranking process, according to SEO experts reviewing the leak. According to Rand Fishkin, CEO of SparkToro, many claims directly contradict public statements made by Googlers over the years, in particular the company's repeated denial that click-centric user signals are employed. Among the revelations, indications that Google considers site authority scores and Chrome browser data as ranking factors, despite publicly denying using metrics like these. The leaked files also suggest Google elevates certain sites for sensitive topics like elections and employs different treatment for smaller websites. Mike King of iPullRank stated, "While I don't necessarily fault Google for protecting proprietary information, I take issue with efforts to actively discredit people presenting reproducible discoveries." Google has yet to confirm the authenticity of the leaked docs, However, the potential insights could have far-reaching impacts for the SEO industry and for web publishers optimizing for Google's search rankings. For businesses and IT leaders, this leak highlights the complexities in ensuring web presence and navigating the ever-evolving search landscape shaped by big tech's black box algorithms. According to a survey just released today by Zoho Canada, while overall business optimism has declined from the previous quarter, over 60% of Canadian businesses remain hopeful about growth prospects in 2024. But that's down from 74% at the end of 2023. Economic uncertainties and a decline in customer spending are cited as the biggest challenges, with nearly 52% observing lower consumer spending. The report also had questions about technology and adoption of technology. For instance, the integration of AI presents a mixed picture. Only around 36% consider it critically important, but those who do recognize its importance are adopting AI to boost productivity and competitiveness, with only 10% thinking it will reduce staffing. On the staffing front, most businesses plan to maintain current workforce levels. Cybersecurity, collaboration tools, and CRM emerge as top technology priorities for Canadian businesses, although at relatively low numbers, with only about 20% of respondents thinking that these are important. The results, at least on the surface, appear to indicate that businesses either think that they have the right technology in place now, or new technology is not a huge concern for them. Employee wellness initiatives, vital for resilience, are also lacking in over half the workplaces surveyed. I was able to speak with Zoho Canada's Managing Director, Chandrasekhar LSP, to get his perspective on the report. Here's what he had to say.
Businesses are optimistic overall. However, if I juxtapose that with the trend, what has happened is I've seen a slight increase in pessimism. That's one thing that I would call out. Because again, if you look at it comically as a part of just this study, it is still very positive. However, the positivity has come down by certain points when compared to the previous studies that we did. I think we have traveled through that whole last 4 years in a very uncertain environment. To me, I would really call out the fact that Canadian businesses have been very resilient and very adaptive. At the same time, though, while businesses have adapted, they are very cautious. They're like, if you're starting business now, how many people would you want to start new businesses? They're being very cautious and they maybe not the right time.
For my part, I couldn't help thinking about our story yesterday that pointed out that productivity in Canada has declined by 0.3%, while U.S. productivity has increased by 6%. While we appreciate that Canadian businesses still have a high degree of optimism, there's a lot of work to be done if Canadian business is to remain competitive. As always, there's a link to the study in the show notes at technewsday.ca. And that's it for today's show. Remember, you could get us on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. We're available on YouTube now in both audio and video format. Show notes are on technewsday.com or .ca. Take your pick. I'm your host, Jim Love. Have a thrilling Thursday.